Hi everyone, welcome to Digital Experience Team. This is our retro video where we go over things that went well and things to improve on from this last 2-week iteration. Today is Thursday, November 3rd. First up for things that went well is Nathan.
I was not ready for that. Well, usually I'm the late one to the docs and doing it last minute. Procrastinator. Yeah, despite I feel like it's been a little chaotic like the last couple of weeks with all these urgent requests, but I must say we're delivering and like I don't know how we're doing it, but we're doing it. And so like a huge pat on the back to everyone for I don't know how we're doing this, but getting everything out and gathering all the requirements and pushing to production. Like we're hitting all the deadlines, which is unbelievable. But yeah, that's all. Jess, you're up next.
Yeah, kind of tagging on to that a little bit. I just wanted to shout out Megan for doing some really awesome work the last sprint. There's been a few instances because of all the chaotic quick turnarounds where like we didn't have the full UX UI done. And so she built things without mobile or without or like from a screenshot and just like crushed it, like barely had any notes at all. So awesome job, Megan. And Pastor or Lauren, sorry.
Shout out Laura Miguel John 2.0 Nav. That was a doozy. We've been like rapid fire for the last 24 hours because you ship it to NPM and then you bring it down and then there's these weird phantom bugs and like you can't drill down and yeah. So good job. We got that through and there will be a quick iteration, I'm sure. And then big page releases about GitLab and the analyst pages are live. So Laura, Miracle, and Carrie, great job getting those ones out the door. And then GLM tracking, GitLab link management, is going to be added to our free trial button. So it's 100% tracking from website over to the product that lets you know what page they clicked on that free trial button. Huge. We don't get any cookie loss or anything. So if that works and the data looks good, we could implement that elsewhere. So good job, Miguel, getting that in. And then we've got a real change log coming, like a real one that's going to automatically tell us what went in. So that's in the works. It's kind of like also an FYI for the group that that's going to happen soon. Nathan.
That's cool. Is that a changelog for Nav or for everything?
Buyer experience. And then we'll get a
sick.
change log for Nav also, but we're just
Cool.
doing
That's
BE.
awesome. Yeah, just congrats. I don't know how this one's left or got on the rug, but Laura and Lauren on Lauren, you're officially a manager and Laura, you're senior. Super exciting. So congrats to both of you. Nice dab, Laura.
Dream team.
Super exciting. We'll have to celebrate in Palm Springs. So
Oh man. Got plans. Shout out to Megan. She's pretty much just been running the Major League Hacking Fellow program and doing an amazing job at it. So yeah, just awesome. I literally couldn't do it without Megan. So awesome. I'm next. Things to improve on in this whole nav release. Figured out that we can't debug the navigation locally in the dub repo. That is a problem. So how do we fix that? Nathan, so you got some.
yeah, some not good news. Yeah, you can't really debug a node module. Like the only way is in node modules, but you're looking at like minified code and that's not fun. But it is a way. I guess the best solution is let's get out of dub dub dub. So I don't know if we can somehow fast track that, but yeah. John, do you wanna? I think you have another idea.
Yeah, right now, in order to debug sleepers and navigation in buyer's experience, we are using YarnLink. It saves us to release new versions into NPM. So I believe that could work also for dub. I'm not really sure because I don't work so often in dub, but if that's possible, that would be a good solution.
I would say that it would be possible with the yarn link. I've tried it in the past with the dot repo, and I've done it with yarn link, but yeah, just gotta make sure it works.
Yeah, something is broken with the import where the entire package just doesn't even get brought in. It errors out. That's the issue. Yeah, typically yarn link should work, but there's something wrong with the actual import. It can't find buyer experience navigation. But we just didn't have time to debug this particular issue. So we'll look into that this next iteration.
Let's get an issue created for that. Yeah, because that presented us with some challenges as we are releasing this major version. And then the next thing is the nav items got to be in the DOM for SEO, and also just makes it easier to like figure out things and debug it and like drill down into class names. So we're going to work on that next. John, do you want to speak to how we're going to do that maybe?
Yeah, I will probably do a drop down from scratch, because in this iteration I used a library called Floating View, but I didn't find a way to hide in the DOM these links, because the library didn't allow me. So I will refactor the navigation, remove this library, and do it from scratch. So that is a good thing, because we can have custom behaviors in the navigation, and right now we are limited for the library. I choose this library thinking it satisfied our requirements, but it did not. So sorry for that. Next one is Jessica.
Yeah, just a friendly reminder to make sure you're always using slippers type styles in the code whenever possible. Should be almost always. Just because like if we update the typography in slippers, we want all those changes to be pushed through every page where they exist. So just double check that that's happening. We're seeing it both in like really old pages and like new MRs. So just want to make sure everyone's got that on their mind. And Laura, I think you have a good point to add.
Yeah, I think for the most part, we try to use the slippers typography component. If like the only time in recent memory I can think of not using it is if there's like a block of code that says like, GitLab's mission, and somewhere in there is a link, like a little text link. We use Markdown to render that, and then we have to kind of style it manually ourselves so it doesn't pick up the slippers typography styles. I could be wrong if we're not doing that anymore, but that's the last time I remember not using slippers typography. Oh, and I see Lauren is typing away.
Yeah, this came up in the MLH office hours we had about the slip typography component. It was like, well, we're getting different typography on the site, and our thinking was it was because of Markdown. We can't put a ton of Markdown in the slip typography component, so then we're like rendering our own styles. So we're going to try to build a typography component that does accept Markdown. And that has to do with Nuxt and the content module. And there's a plugin we can add to slippers that enables Nuxt. It's more of like a spike. We're going to look into it. Long answer. Mateo?
Yeah, so this is a recurrent one, but content. We got content for some pages that needed to go out like 30 minutes before our release meeting, Nathan and I. And yeah, the last few hours have been a little crazy trying to get that in time. So that could be improved, I guess.
Yeah, I want to add on to that actually. I know things get hectic and that like you Slack and we communicate maybe informally, or I don't know if that's the right word, but issues need to be updated. And unfortunately, like something slipped through the cracks because we weren't assigned these issues and the content wasn't added to the issues. So we didn't know that we were supposed to do the issues. Even though I did see, I think the Slack message like early in the week, it just slipped by me. I'm used to seeing like the to-do list and all things to do, but yeah, if we can try and keep to our process and issues. Dennis, I think you're up next.
Oh, sorry.
As you're typing.
Yeah, when there's new elements, just be sure to add the data GA attribute. Just it's for tracking, and so yeah, or just tag me in an issue if you're not sure like what should go on that element. I think I'm the last one, so.
Yeah, I added a comment. Should we add a new item in the checklist for the merge request templates in order to remember that we need to add these attributes in the links, because we need to put it in all links. Sometimes we only forgot that we need to put that.
Yeah, there is a section on the issue template, but it doesn't specify data. So maybe I can revise that to include the data portion. So okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Back to whoever started this meeting, Laura.
Cool. If there are no other thoughts, I guess that's it. Thank you, everyone, and we will see you next time.